first solo backpack camp on Dartmoor by Lotti Rains. One of the things I have been wanting to do for a long while, before my knees completely refuse, is to walk from Postbridge to Belston, camping halfway. Until earlier this year though, I hadn't even walked on my own on the moor. Hubby and I hike up there together most weeks. In the spring, I enjoyed my first ever solo hike, and then it was time for my first ever solo backpack camp. We had camped together on the moor, but I had never been alone, so in order to prepare myself for my planned adventure, I needed to rectify this. On our weekly hikes, we always look for good camping spots, noting water sources and shelter from different wind directions. We now have quite a catalogue of possible pitches, too many really. For my first solo camp, I decided on a pretty place next to a wonderful burbling brook with a few trees and lovely views down a valley which we know well, and where I thought I would feel comfortable. It was also a flat, relatively shortish walk, so I could get used to a heavier pack. I knew I was unlikely to get a wonderful sunset. I didn't, but apparently there was one, as you might on a tour. But I would be close to water, so I wouldn't have to carry the extra weight, and the camping spot felt secret and protected. A good place to start. I am a very anxious person by nature, and it has got worse as I have got older. My main worries about solo camping are those that probably would worry anyone doing this for the first time. Being injured, bad weather, or even just being alone. Livestock perhaps. The cows in the area of the moor I have chosen do have a bit of a reputation, sadly. Thankfully, we have never seen them at the pitch side, and we always give them a wide berth. Would frisky ponies or inquisitive sheep nibble my guidelines? Maybe foxes would nick my gear. It's being heard of. Being Dartmoor, there are, of course, trolls, pixies, and the hound to worry about. Despite these worries, it was important to me to prove to myself that I could do this. My husband knew exactly where I was going, and I wasn't that far from civilization. I did a practice camp at home a few days before, did a final gear and weather check, and set off towards the wonderful moor. It was an easy walk from the car, with the odd detour to avoid the newly released cows and their offspring, and before long I arrived at my chosen location. It's a pretty place with its trees and brook, and as expected, I felt tucked away and safe. No cows, a few curious sheep, and no ponies, although we have seen them here before. I set up and made myself a brew and just let myself relax, absorbing the serenity and beauty of the moor, together with wonderful birdsong. All my worries just melted away. Dartmoor was working its magic already. After my dinner, washed down with a can of something sparkly, I settled down to watch the light fade and marvel at the beauty around me. Earlier, when I was setting up, I had heard and seen a cuckoo, but hadn't heard it for a while. Suddenly there it was, singing its heart out, until the sun went down, right above my head. Absolutely wonderful. It made that first solo camp even more special, and will never be forgotten. I didn't sleep particularly well. I didn't really expect to. with the beautiful burbling brook burbling quite loudly. I must have eventually fallen asleep in the early hours, to be woken just after sunrise by the cuckoos singing their song. What an alarm clock! After breakfast I decamped, making quite certain I had left nothing behind. If we want our beautiful moor to remain beautiful and healing, it's so important to return the care. If we want the moor to look after us, we must look after it. Most people do. It saddens me to see rubbish on the moor, and if I can, I will take it away with me. If not, I will let someone know. I do hope that those few people who don't seem to understand will learn soon how to care for our wonderful moor, so that it can continue to heal and work its magic. On the way back to the car, I crossed a river at a ford and had a coffee, admiring my favourite view on the whole moor, thinking about my adventure. I did it! I survived! I loved it! The sense of achievement was enormous. I loved the peace and tranquility, the freedom, the being in and with nature. I felt enlivened, elated, renewed, at peace, relaxed. At no time was I scared. I was quite certain that something was nibbling at my tent in the night, possibly the wind, although there were some rather guilty-looking sheep nearby the next morning. I felt protected. I know the moor can be a treacherous place at times, but I honestly felt as though it had looked after me. It was an odd feeling. As I walked back to the car, I thanked the moor and the pixies and those experienced Dartmoor solo campers who have been so supportive, inspirational and encouraging with their help and advice for my memorable first camp. I'm ready now for more camping adventures and eventually my 2-day hike across the North Moor. I might be cracking on, but there is more to do and see, more adventures to be had in that place that lifts my soul the most. Dartmoor really is the best medicine. Thank you, Dartmoor.